Phone's going here, ladies and gentlemen.
The security guard, he's the guy who put out.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome to DYOR Live here on the DYOR Media Network. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking, here in the digital media world. My mic is overblowing it here. It is February 26, 2025. The month of February is ripping through already. Can't believe it. Can't believe it. Can't believe it. And the market is tanking. The market is tanking, yes, here on this Wednesday at the end of February. And who called it, ladies and gentlemen? Who called it the market? Well, not necessarily is going to tank. We'll just say the market was going to retrace to a certain level. Who called it? That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Pedro Garcia, my crypto chart analyst. Pedro, welcome to the show.
Hey, guys. How you doing? It's good to have every one of you guys. Spirit fingers. Yeah. It has been one of those cool mornings, man, just watching the market move. And especially with copper yesterday at the end of the close.
Copper?
Oh, yeah, because of the copper copper tariffs that Trump was talking about creating. So it's made copper just explode, literally. I mean, just it exploded. And then so the retracement today has been pretty fun to play. So it's been happening.
Let's start out with a super chat, Pedro. That's right. Troublesome Creek donating $2 to the AV Tech Fund. Thank you very much, Troublesome. We really appreciate it. We've got a goal running on YouTube today. It's a $2 super chats. And we're doing it. We're not trying to make a lot of money here. We're trying to show the algorithm that there is love over here on DYOR Live.
And that people like us.
So if you've got $2 and you want to help us promote the show in the algorithm, please do so.
Please do. And by the way, but you are looking quite dapper. I have to admit, I was going to tell you, with the white shirt and your skin is like, you look great job. I was going to let you know, bro. You look good.
Well, let me tell you the secrets of the great world of television, Pedro. First of all, the quality on my camera is down, so you're not seeing like, all the zits and pores and all that. 2, 5 minutes before showtime, I was still unshowered and in my robe. And a little bit of water and a little bit of that hair paste stuff, and it looked better. And it still wasn't quite right, so got the sunglasses, put them on the head, and bam, I am ready for the big time today.
Looking good, my friend.
Yeah, I just stole all my secrets here. And I still have a dent in my head from wearing a baseball hat backwards as I was doing all morning.
You know what, bro? Dents in our head or whatever it be. As guys, we don't have to be good looking. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a different story. Like, unfortunately, like, women have, like, that's our society. And they hate it. I understand why, man. I would hate to always have to look perfect and look good. And, it's a double standard. And even in today's world, like, where, like, you're not supposed to judge. Dude, they all judge each other. Like, so it's like, oh, did you see the way she looked? And you're like, no, I really didn't, babe.
That bitch. Who does she think she is getting those hair extensions?
Dude, right. And you're just like, I don't, all right, cool. Like, if she want to do, let her do it. I don't care. I'm not here to judge. I ain't her husband. I ain't her boyfriend.
It's like in the Telegram room, last night, I got back to the joint here in Ottawa yesterday after being gone for 3 weeks, and we had no water. The building across the street caught fire. It's an old shitty club of some sort. It deserved to burn down. I mean, it was like the awful 4 a.m. people stuck under the drunks and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, because of the disaster there, the city had to turn the water main off on the street, and we share the water main, so we didn't have any water. And I'm like, whatever, don't have water. We got Coke, we got beer, we got bourbon, whatever.
Yeah, you're good.
But the missus, she has her nightly routine, gonna take the makeup up just right, in the shower, do all its things, and has to wash her hands 45 times. Where I'm content sitting on the couch with my hand in my thing doing the Al Bundy. And she's like, you could just live in filth. And I was getting ready to type again. I'm like, yeah, us guys can just live in filth. And we don't prefer to, but we can if necessary. I don't like to live in filth. But if they say the water's off, well, the fucking water's off. Right.
What are you going to do? Like, it's like,
although sometimes you got to be a little bit smarter than average, and I'm going to claim that title right now. We have a 4-story parking garage underground. Mm-hmm. And on the bottom floor, where we park, because we have the worst spot in the building, there's the car wash bay. Now, 4 stories underground is what? Underneath the water main. So, by pure gravity, the car wash bay still had water. Not under pressure, but under gravity pressure. So, got 2 buckets filled with water. Thus, all night, the missus and I could use the toilet just fine. People were jealous and envious until they figured out my secret.
They're sitting there wondering, like, what are you doing?
How can he keep flushing his toilet? I don't get it. Got to be smarter than the average Joe here. And actually, I claimed that I was. Actually, what happens? We got back and the car was all salty and dirty and stuff. So I just wanted to rinse it off. I'm like, there's probably some residual pressure in the car wash thing to rinse some salt off, but there was a lot, and I'm like, I can get a couple of buckets of water out of this. Anyway.
Anyways, okay.
Enough intros. Let's get to the good stuff here today, ladies and gentlemen.
While y'all are here.
Oh, the good stuff is ka-ching, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for joining us. Derek, all the way from Minnesota. Alpha Wolf, for sure. I did a super thing, and it didn't show on here, even though it charged me. That's goofy. Well.
Roland Rod. What's up, baby?
Alpha Wolf will give you the cheer for the $2. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. It's not showing up in my comments either, so whatever. But thank you. The effort is all that matters.
That's interesting. I didn't see it. That's really interesting.
Rolling Rod in the house. Sup, guys. Stay bullish. Stay bullish. Pedro.
Yes.
What it is the nickname? I know you don't like it so much because this is a skill thing for you, not an art form of guessing from the Middle Ages. But what is it the nickname people gave you for various reasons?
I am not going. You are not going to get it coming
Pedro-Damus, ladies and gentlemen. Pedro-Damus. Pedro-Damus, all a while ago, was saying, we're going to here. People are like, no. Even me. No. Oh, be silly. We're not going. Actually, I'm no longer a skeptic. Now when Pedro says it's going here, I'm like, okay. And Pedro said it's even going here. What's this line right where my finger is, Pedro? That price.
That is what we call the 80,000 area, which is the 200-period moving average. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So it's likely on. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, over the past few weeks, you have seen Pedro up here talking about Bitcoin and doing what the other yo bros on the system were not doing. And that was calling it out, just going right to 150. What does Pedro always say, ladies and gentlemen? Says before it's going to go up there where he believes it's going to go, it's got to go down first because all the institutions want to get good price. The market makers want to steal more of your exit liquidity, stop you out, all those types of good things. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what's going on. Big price decrease overnight, and then a bunch of people got stopped out, liquidated, and boom, it dropped it real quick, real fast.
Yep.
Oh, yep. We don't need Pedro. Tom just said it. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.
Thomas, you are the bomb diggity, dude. You're the traitor. Let's take over. Take over. You got it. I'm out.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's just talk about what's going on here.
So,
whoops, I made myself too big.
I want to talk about a couple things here, so that you guys can understand what I think is going to happen. Again, I look at charts And then I try to build a fundamental narrative. And I know that sounds weird because normally people will look at the fundamentals and build a construct in which the world is currently looking, right? So that they can potentially predict the markets. And so a lot of times that happens, and people have the current market structure, but not necessarily looking at it, I think, appropriately. Because if you look at the world and a construct from a fundamental standpoint, you're always going to do the lagging indicator, whether that is technically or whether that is fundamentally. You're always going to be behind trying to gauge the world. And so one of the ways, and I was thinking about this yesterday as the market was selling off and everything was kind of falling apart, right? I said, why is it that I'm kind of able, and what I do is I look at the charts, which is really where the money's at, right? Like charts can't lie because price prints. So there's real money going into that. And so we saw back here, I said, well, we've got a lot of sellers right here, and we got a lot of buyers in us right here, but we're gradually, literally just going sideways. And then we saw it come up and tap our area. I said, I'm waiting for it to go up to here before it goes down, right? I said, I like that 102, 101 area. And back here, when I said, when it started to climb up here on Thursday, Wednesday and Thursday here, I personally, because we weren't live, but I personally thought we should go up to here and then see it sell off or hit that 50 period moving average. We did have this up, and I forgot this right here. Excuse me. We did have this up right here, and then I took it off because I didn't think it needed to happen. So that's this right here, which was sitting, and so it did come up and hit this area. It did sell off. I expected us to kind of go up to the upper level here, but it didn't. I think it's going down. Again, I'm thinking where the liquidity is going to happen. That is what I'm perceiving. Where would we see a bunch of stop orders and a bunch of buy orders establishing stuff? So one is going to be below right here. You see this day right here? We had all these green days, and then we had a bunch of sellers, and those sellers got demolished by the buyers as they pushed this up. So all those buyers who bought in, there's a lot of stops sitting right here. What's up, bud? How you doing?
I'm not quick on the mic on this setup either.
It's okay. She's good. I love puppies. It's all right. You don't like it though. I forgot. Yeah. Here we go. So
well, it's just that it's really loud here.
Yeah. Echoes. You're in Chicago, or where are you at again?
Canada again, Ottawa.
Canada. Are you gonna move to Canada, or are you gonna?
No, the missus is gonna move to the U.S. But her parents are just down the street here, so we still got some time here. And I like it in the winter because it's if I were to move to the U.S., I wouldn't move full time to Chicago. I'd move to out west where my daughter is, or down south where my parents are.
All right. Okay, so I'm all about that kiwi, lab man. I love kiwis, bro.
I do too. I like the kiwi too.
It's funny. I was eating it, and somebody was like, "You eat it with the skin on?" I go, "Yeah, that's where all the nutrients are really at. You know that, right?" I was like, and they're like, "Yeah, but there's still." I said, "Nah, you need to eat the whole entire thing."
Troublesome. The stream never started on YouTube. I'm guessing you're watching it on YouTube here. I showed that it's running and you're 12 minutes behind. Just click the button forward. We thanked you for your $2 contribution. We'll run it again here.
Yeah, thank you so much. We really do appreciate it. And also for our friend Alpha Wolf for also giving us money as well. Appreciate
I need to fix something real quick right here, Pedro. It's gonna.
So let's go ahead here real quick as I kind of stop to take a bite of that kiwi here. So we're watching the market kind of come into these areas here, and we're seeing volume, seller volume really pick up and kind of just show like, hey, this is what we're doing here. Now, I also want to add up what has been the primary thing that I keep saying about Michael Saylor, that he is the liquidity that the institution bank on, right? And so smartly, he bought.
Hold on one sec, ladies and gentlemen, as I redo Pedro's screen here. Where did it go? Sorry, Pedro. I don't know where your screen went here.
I hate it when my screen just disappears.
All right, I'm just going to go with this one for right now here. Here.
There you go. All righty.
I'm here, but for some reason.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, everything's good. Just my normal screen for you just disappeared. I don't know why. Just the usual.
The gremlins at work again. We didn't see any C
nope,
word. We didn't see any like Savesa stuff going on. We didn't say any of that. So I don't know what's going on now. But they know I'm about to talk trash about Bitcoin here and what the institutions are doing, and we're about to have a little fun. So jumping back here real quick, we're watching Bitcoin kind of come down and test this level here. We're going to see it pick up and start to really push down. So I'm really looking forward to seeing it come down and test that 85,000, or excuse me, yeah, 85,000 area here as we come and tap-a-roo. I think we should see definitely it kind of push down and further into this demand area that we wrote down at that 80,000. And we're going to see what's going to happen around that level of 85,000. The reason why is because this is where this is where a lot of people's stops are sitting. So we should see a good little bounce off of this level here. Remember, if you're going to take this long, then I want to make sure that you understand we want to be above that 8-period moving average. Like I've talked many a times here, right? Like it comes down to an area, we see it get above, boom, we want to put our stop below the local low, and then we want to see it climb up. We want to see a 1-to-1, a 1 to 1.25 win ratio, which is basically it's a 100x, or not one. It's going to be a 2x, right? Take off 70 to 80% of your position at that 1-to-1, and then see if it runs for the 20% that's left further, right? And we could see it push. Make sure to move up your stop if you decide you're going to do that. And so it's going to look something similar to this, right? Boom, coming down. As we're coming down, you'll see it putting in demand wigs, and then see it explode up and then come back down once it gets above that 8-period and it closes green. We want to see it. We're going to put our stop at this level here and then see it continue up. Again, we're looking for we're looking for a 1-to-1, 1-to-2 ratio just to make our money and then be done and see if we get a runner. So remember that. That's the trade we're looking for. If you want to capture the long here, you want to capture the short here, you want to go to that higher time frame here. I mean, we're looking really more or less at these levels right here. Just going to be sitting. Give me 1 second, my people. All right. So I like this area right here. It's a good little area. It's on multiple time frames here, so you're going to be able to get a good position. You got that 8-period moving average. So if you want to wait for a pullback up into this level here, where we could see a continuation down once we hit this lower level here at that 85. So you got both directions you can play here. It'll be a fun trade. All right. Now let's kind of go over what the S&P is doing right now. So if you look at the daily chart here, monthly chart, we talked about a couple things here. Us coming and testing that 8-period moving average and potentially seeing it come down to these lower levels here. But I said it all depends on how it closes, right? On the level of us coming and tapping. And the reason why I'm talking about S&P 500, it's because we're watching it, the NASDAQ and the S&P 500, we're watching crypto starting to follow that because you have the institutions that are coming in and trading. It's becoming very similar, right, to what these are doing. And because crypto is more of a technical, new technology stock per se, because it doesn't have a designation, as my friend here was talking about, we are going to be, oh, that was Zach Humphrey, sorry. This is simply just going to be one of those things that we're looking definitely for a pullback. So I personally think, like we're seeing the S&P 500 pulling back here, if we close red here and get down to here around that, how do you explain? If we close, where's the close here? If we close below the 59.82 area 75, and this closes red for the month, okay, expect us to see a come and test of these lower levels of that 5,700 to the 5,600 for the ES or the S&P 500 futures here. As this comes down into these levels, if we close red, this is going to be next month. So if that's going to happen, we're going to see a rally into the first part of the month and then see it go down towards mid to end of the month, right? So make sure you're not caught off guard here, right? And we're going to see a similar situation in relationship to the NQ, and understanding that as this is already starting to show weakness currently, right, which was 3 months ago, and then we saw it kind of bounce back, but wasn't able to continue. If we see this close red, this is going to come down and test these lower levels right here on the monthly chart on the NQ, right? These levels here are distinctive levels because they really haven't been tested yet. So I'm going to draw this out here real quick, right here. So I'm looking at this area here, but that 20 period moving average on the monthly will maybe come down and tap that and then push it back up. Maybe it might be a month or 2 month period, but that means that we're just going to see a bleeding in Bitcoin as well continue. So I'm hoping that I've been, and like many of you guys have talked about, I've talked about this, a flash crash that will last maybe a month, where we just see a sell off and then a good retracement. So that's what I'm expecting here. Now let's talk about the bonds, because the bonds have been acting very interesting, right? Being that it's almost like they're reverting back to what it's supposed to be, or kinda. So we're going to find out a couple things that are happening here.
Pedro, which ones you got up there right now? I can't see.
Right now, this is just the NQ. So
what's the NQ?
That's the S&P 500, or excuse me, that's the NASDAQ, but the futures NASDAQ. So I'm pulling that up because I want to talk about a couple things that are potentially happening. So again, I've told you guys a lot about like these areas here where we could see it stop. This is the 1 month bond here. We're starting to see it sell off, right? But it's still, if you look at the actual price that it's sitting at 4.3 or 430 or 4.30 cent percentage. So it's 4.3. That's what it is. 4.3% at this level. But when you go to look at the higher time frame, or longer time frame yields, the higher time frame yields are actually starting to get above the actual and stay above what we're seeing the 1 month. If this continues, this is going to fall into a sense of semblance. Now I'm still waiting for the 20-year to go a little bit further down, or to see the 30-year pick up in yield where it goes above the 5.7 to the 5.8. So these are good things, right, that we're watching these things fall, either this stuff fall up. Now, the reason why I'm going to bring this up is I expect to see, on a natural standpoint, we're watching the yields drop. And the reason why that's important, because what's the primary thing that Trump needs that he's asking the government or the Fed to do? To drop the rates. And so as we're watching, we're seeing it naturally happen already, which is supply and demand. We're actually watching the actual yields drop automatically. And I don't know if it's because the traders are trading what they can, and maybe they're not being dictated by Biden's administration, kind of like how um, uh, uh, Facebook was kind of, and that couldn't happen with the traders on Wall Street. There's no way they could be bullied by the
No.
at all. I mean, that didn't happen in 2008, nor did it happen in, we'll leave that one alone. So, but we're already watching like the 10-year and the 30-year already starting to see a sell off in this aspect. If I see the 1 month, come on, is this thing? If I see the 1 month start to hold, and I don't see it drop here, okay, and we see it consolidate here and just stay here and start to move up a little, this is something that I want to be paying attention to, because if our higher time frames start to descend again and we see the shorter time frames hold, again, this is a bad situation that could be happening again to show that we might be in a really bad situation coming up. And so we're going to be paying attention to this. Now, what I do like, though, is that we are seeing the higher time frames sell off. And I like the fact that if we see a lower interest rate that's actually happening, we're going to then see maybe a potential pickup in the economy because people buy houses when rates are low. And as rates are lower, then people have the ability to borrow money cheaply, which they typically put that money to use with businesses, car loans, whatever it would be, right? The biggest key is this, is if Trump can if he can decelerate, basically slow down the interest or the inflation, then it's going to be good. His tariff situation is throwing things off a little, though, because it's causing short-term inflation spikes, right? And the fact that eggs, there were so many egg and chicken poultry, and this was what was happening in Biden's, I was about to say Obama, Biden's administration, but Trump is having to deal with it now. And I think he needs to be smart, right? How he handles this. If inflation really starts to pick up, then it potentially could throw off this whole entire short-term drop in interest rates. So it's going to be really, it will counterbalance it, because if inflation goes up and interest rates goes up, people still don't have enough money to be able to buy goods and services. So this is a big issue. So these are just some of the things we're looking at right now in relationship to what we're seeing. It's interesting that we're also watching the bonds start to skyrocket. Pardon me, let me move that to red. Boom, I put this as a red because we basically blew through it, which then would act as resistance. But you can see we came down into this area, then
blew through it on the way back up.
Yeah, so, but it still acted as support here for this level as it pulled back into. It acted as some form of resistance, or excuse me, some form of support, sold through, then it came down.
Are you still in the bonds, or?
Yeah, this is the T-bonds. This is the 30-year bond. So
Troublesome isn't just skipping ahead. He's putting it on 1.5x playback. So to catch up. All right, another 6 minutes. He should be all set to go here.
I do that all the time, actually. So I love it. So it's going to be really interesting to see if the 30-year bond can play through this 30 period or the 200-day period moving average. And I personally think it's going to. I think it's going to tap it, come back down, and then see if it can hold. So if that does happen, we're then going to see continuation of interest rates that are going to be falling. And this is the area that I am looking at. We probably will see some resistance come in, but I think we're going to then, from that sell-off area, we'll blow through this area here.
Sorry, I'm here, Pedro. I'm just trying to bring our normal screen back to life, re-importing it from a backup while doing this. I spoke too earlier when I said there's no technical difficulties. Anyway, troublesome. I heard the thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah,
really appreciate it. Thank you for $2. I want my $2. One of the best movies ever.
Jack Cusack. All right.
John Cusack.
John Cusack. Cusack, yeah.
I sat across him. I was on a train. I can't remember if it was in New Jersey or France. I don't remember which one. And I was on a train in one of those seats where four seats kind of face each other, and he and his wife sat across from me and my it was my daughter Kate. So we were on a train. We're on a train from Manchester, UK to Cardiff.
Was he nice?
Yeah, he really didn't say anything. But he's taller than you think. He's a tall dude. I was like, how about that?
How tall? You know who I thought
taller than me? And I thought he was a little pipsqueak from all those movies. Not at all.
When I look, you know who's really kind of short but incredibly powerful in Hollywood? Tom Cruise.
Well, yeah, he's a short guy.
I saw a picture of him next to somebody. I was like, oh my goodness. And then I thought, other movies you see him looking eye to eye, how are they doing that? Right? Like he looks kind of eye to eye with a lot of people. And I was thinking, they must have him like on blocks or something that he can,
Well, I didn't realize it so much, but then he started doing the Jack Reacher movies a long time ago, not to be confused with the Prime things. And I've read all the Lee Child books about the character Jack Reacher. And in the books, they talk about this Jack Reacher guy being this monstrous 6'8" guy with muscles out to here and a giant head and blonde and all this kind of stuff. And so you have this image in your head of this big beast of a Nordic man walking around the U.S. kicking people's butts and righting rights and righting wrongs and fixing everything. And then the movie comes out and it's Tom Cruise and he's like, "Hey, I'm going to beat you up here. Come on, guys." And you're like, wait, that's not authentic. And then sure enough, in the Amazon Prime show, Jack Reacher, they went right at it and got whatever his name is, the guy that looks just like the character in the book. He's awesome.
So that is real. All right. So I saw that and I was like, why is it? So it is the same genre series.
John Reacher or Jack Reacher, yeah. Not John Ryan, Jack Ryan, Jack Reacher. Different guys.
All right. Next thing. Let's check out what's happening here with the VIX. We're seeing the VIX pick up. And also, more importantly, we're watching this happen kind of in
the
real
VIX.
time.
Pedro, explain to our viewers what the VIX is.
Basically, it's the volatility that happens within the options market. And what it does is it just pulls information of what is actually happening in the options market. And they put it on a chart here. And so when people really want to go through and buy outside of the money, expecting that the market's going to either go up or down, this is a good analysis of what's actually happening on a chart. And that typically lets you know, because most options are a 10-to-1 ratio, a leveraged. So what you can sit there and say is people are betting that this thing is going to go up or go down based off of the volatility movement. In a nutshell, I'm trying to make this very simple. So
I think you did a good job of it. Everything's quite simple there.
Good. So I think it's not perfect. Actually, I'm like, as I was saying, I was like, that doesn't, as anybody who actually knows what it is, going to look at it and go, bro. Okay. So here's the thing. When it goes up, that means that that volatility in the market, which typically means if the market is going up, that we're going to most likely see a turnaround and a sell-off in the market. And so right now, we're starting to see it kind of pick up a little here. And we saw a bit of a sell-off yesterday. But today, this little demand wick and kind of going up is showing a little bit of different you know, kind of explaining that, hey, we're most likely going to continue falling and seeing tumultuous sell-off situation potential could increase and see it kind of go kind of crazy. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully it doesn't happen, but that's what it's kind of showing right now. Now let's check out also the Dixie. Now we've talked about the Dixie here. I said we've got to see it go down because Trump really wants to see a lot of companies do business with America. And the only way that's really going to happen is literally seeing the dollar drop in value. And so around, you know, in March, when we saw, or not March, excuse me, January, when it was around here, sorry, my ear's itching, forgive me. We saw it around here and I said, guys, this seller wick right here, as we saw it coming up, we didn't really see a lot of demand wicks as we were coming up with the Dixie. We saw a lot of the seller wicks or supply wicks being established, meaning that they're getting ready to drop the market. And so along the day that we saw Trump get inaugurated, we saw a huge sell-off. Again, a pullback, right, to pick up orders. But look, you're seeing it continue down now. And so I said, we want to be paying attention to that 8-period moving average as it plays off of it. I also made a comment, if you're going to take this trade on the daily, you need to make sure you get in on the pullbacks to the 8-period moving average. So hopefully you guys were able to get into. I did not. I was kind of mad at myself.
I did not.
Right. But you can see here that it is following it pretty good. So again, I'm expecting to see a few places pullbacks to and then see kind of progress. This is one of them where we could sit there and see a potential bounce off of the market because there's going to be sellers there. So, wrong one. So there's going to be sell orders here, which will then cause the institutions to want to step in and say, hey, I'm going to buy those sell orders or I'm going to pull those stop orders. So that's where and be an area where you can expect to see a pullback again to the 100 or another 8-period moving average. So here the yellow line is the 100. And so you can sit there and see, and I think we're going to see it continue down today into the 200 as well as, and I expect us to see this potentially come down to the 104. And if we're lucky, if American can push down the US dollar to under 100, if not 99, 98, it's going to make the rest of the world really happy with us. One being, they're going to want to do business with us. And as infrastructure, let's say over the next 3 to 6 months, really starts to ramp up here in America, we're already seeing Japan put money into, we're already starting to see the wheels of industry starting to get going. And they're really making a lot of progress regarding creating jobs here. Now, granted, it's still going to take a long time for, you know, when I say long time, I mean like 2 years where we're full on running and seeing the economy. But they've got to push down this Dixie. You got to push down this currency, which is the US dollar, to about that 100 to about 97 cents or $97 there. If they can get this below here, and play here, people are going to want to, or trade here, people are going to want to do business with America. It's going to be very clear. Like, it's cheap over there for us to go there and do business. We're going to do business. And if we've got a lot of, i.e., and I hate to say it, jobs, because that's, and real jobs, you know, not governmental jobs, which many of you guys have heard me talk about ad nauseum for months during Biden's administration, talking real jobs versus government jobs, right? Remember when I bring, do I have it up here? I forgot. Boom. Sorry. I need up. There's my cryptocurrency stuff here. Okay. So, cryptocurrency, boom. Okay. Can you hear me? Can you see me?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good.
That looks like a rug pull.
It looked like I kind of, yeah. This was the Melania Trump card. All right. And it's, yeah, it just keeps dropping. I thought we were going to see some semblance of like resistance here, but bro, it sold through and then found sellers here, resistance. So I thought there's going to be support. Excuse me for my vernacular issues. I thought we were going to see support here. We sold off and then found resistance here and then continued down. So I was like, dang, it's already down at the 128 million market cap, bro. You talk about the people who bought in at the 2.4 billion.
Wrecked.
They are 95%. They're not, like, basically it's nothing. So I feel bad because I'm like, dang, that just hurts. Anyways, jumping back here to what I was talking about. This is why you always saw me looking at this, because these numbers here, U.S. population, U.S. workforce, official unemployment. There's the other one that shows U.S. government workers, U.S. union workers. You can see here the increase. This is a really important number to be paying attention to. You can see it goes up and down. And when the numbers do not match this, it means they're lying. And so we saw that a lot. And again, I actually had friends of mine who were very sophisticated guys who would watch my show go, dude, you don't know what you're talking about. You're an idiot. But lo and behold,
idiot, Pedro.
Huh?
You idiot. How dare you be right?
I know. And listen, they're very TradFi-ish. You know, one of them works specifically down with a lot of people down in Washington. And I said, and when I made the comment saying we got about 20% of the workforce, 20 to 30%, and that's just the workforce. It's not expanding on the ancillary jobs that support a lot of the government, right? That is the workforce that aren't being productive, that are not contributing to this, but are contributing to this, right? And so that idea is that if we can increase the, not federal tax revenue, but just revenue, this right here, right, coming in either domestically or exporting it, but either way, we want to see this increase. Why this decrease? It's going to actually help quite a bit, which has been really interesting because we're actually seeing this in real time go away. So when I look at the market at large, and I'm sitting there going like, okay, what's happening here, right? We're seeing it sell off. And so as the Dixie, and we're coming to it right now, as you see the Dixie starting to sell off, we're seeing it come down. These lower levels here are going to cause this number to increase. One being actual manufacturing jobs pick up. We're also going to see this number go down, which this is a liability for our nation. So as this increases, right? Remember how I said manufacturing jobs, right? In 2000 and right versus today. How is that possible? Yet we had all these jobs coming in, right? That was the big thing I was talking about. So this is going to be fun to watch in real time, right? Manufacturing jobs increase, which is then going to correlate with a good decrease in the government employees, which then is going to increase in the union workers because they've got to go somewhere, right? And then as we start to see private sector jobs increase, as well as a lot of those people are going to probably start businesses and start seeing those things pick up, right? Because manufacturing is being brought back to America because if they make it advantageous for businesses to come into America, especially that new gold card silliness, but it could work. You know what I'm saying? You pay $5 million, you come in and you get to work, and you've got wealth. Hey, it's going to help out. So as those entities and people start to want to come and do business because it makes it advantageous, low area to create work and do work, and then you can sell it for a better and higher price, right? Now we start to compete with that the place across the border, or across the not the border, but across the
Pacific
sea over there. Yeah, the Pacific, no, Atlantic, across the Atlantic. Well, I guess yeah.
I thought you were talking about the C word.
Yeah, I am, but I forgot. Yeah,
Pacific.
The Pacific.
Come on, Mr. Coast Guard. I gotta know these things.
So across the Atlantic or across the Pacific over there. So what's going to happen is we're now competing. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens here. Okay. I personally think if they are able to drop the US dollar to these lower levels, and you're like, Pedro, it's only $7. But remember, as this goes down, everybody else's dollar goes up. So it's actually quite a bit. And so the world will actually be in a better place if we can see the dollar come down, right? And again, I think if we can get it down to that 197-ish area, it's going to make life for Americans a lot better, a lot better. And so be ready. This is going to be a fun time if Trump can actually do this. Again, it all depends if this is going to happen. But I think he's going to be able to. He's already getting a lot of stuff being, you're just seeing it. Like companies, nations are sitting there saying, yeah, we'll do business with you guys. If you're, Europe doesn't like us again anymore.
They can F off. Let's regulate everything.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see what's going to happen with America is no longer supporting the idea of wokeism, ESG.
And we're supporting free speech again, whereas Europe's trying to clamp down on everything. Welcome, 76 Norton. Hi, guys. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
So it's really fun. I'm really looking forward to see what actually happens here. And more importantly, really looking forward to see if America has the ability to really pick up. Like, we're going to need a lot of energy, meaning there's going to be so many jobs coming in that are you going to
that's a good
are you going to want to work 2 jobs? Huh?
No, I say you're making a good point. The energy needs of manufacturing. And if we really do bring that stuff back to the U.S., you're on mute or something. Even not heavy manufacturing, like the super iron ore stuff. Even if we're bringing back most of the light manufacturing, light assembly, all that type of stuff, back from Mexico and China, we still need a lot of power. And all the new industrial parks are not built with, massive power needs. And the reason we know this is because we've had Bitcoin miners on here talking about they would love to be able to just walk into a factory and get look at this is an old textile mill. It's got a gigawatt power feed and a bazillion amp watt voltage thingies. And those don't exist anymore. And you got to pay a lot of money to get the power company to drop you new power. And I know this because I built a factory twice. And one time it was ridiculously expensive, and one time it was ludicrous expensive to bring in basically a 2,000 amp 480 service, or 600 volt service, and bring that main power thing in, and then the transformers to get all the other power you need out of it. And so we'll have a power crisis. On that note, Pedro, I saw one of those cool articles about the little mini nuclear generators that go for 8 years without having any water. Just put it out in the field over there next to the telecom hookup and the cable hookup, and it just run the whole city for you, no problem. And I was like, that's the coolest thing ever, and we got to do that.
Here's the thing, and I as we start to really develop the materials that don't heat up and do heat transfer to utilize actually as energy, as that technology really starts to get going and we start to see a lot of innovation with that, it's going to be really interesting to see the actual industry here in America really start to see an acceleration, because with less amount of energy that needs to be utilized will allow a better price that we can actually deliver towards the rest of the world. So that's one of the things I'm actually been following quite a bit. There's still a lot, and a lot of it's actually being designed and established in PCs and also chips, right? Because we're at a point now where it's like they've got to create a new system. It's still, we're coming up to that wall there. We're not there just yet, but in a few more iterations, it's going to be, 5 years, 10 years, they're going to have a hard time. And we got to keep increasing, because the increase need for energy and AI as well as quantum computing as it really starts to develop. So an American wants to be the top there. We're putting a ton of money now. We're seeing a lot of Americans create and develop businesses for that. And so I think we're definitely going to see an increase in. I'm trying to not make this a word salad, and I am.
Okay. Do it, Kamala. Do it.
God, man. Basically, creating materials that allow us to be more efficient when it comes to energy, and that will allow us to really increase with AI and artificial intelligence and quantum computing. That's a good way of starting it off. So let's continue what I'm talking about here. So now let's talk about a few other things that are actually happening right now. We're watching crude oil. We've talked about it coming down to our lower levels here, right? Talked about these lower levels sitting at around that 66. We really want to see, and I've talked about this, I expect to see us maybe potentially to come down to that 58, 52 area here. We talked about it coming up, hitting this area here back in January. And I said, guys, expect us to come down because crude oil, we just, to quote somebody, drill, baby, drill, right? At that moment, we just started seeing this sell-off happen. Again, you're going to see lower highs and lower lows and pullbacks. But I really feel to really put the hurt on other countries out there that we're kind of competing with, that we will be competing with, seeing it down around that 57, 52 area is going to be one of those area, 50, 57 to 50 area is going to be one of those numbers that I expect us to start to touch. We've got a few little areas here, like I said, that are going to act as support. One being this area here between that 69 and the 66 area here. 69, dude. Sorry, Bill and Ted's. My brain just went total left. I don't even know why I did that. So
that was a Bill and Ted for sure.
Definitely. If you haven't watched it and you're young, go watch it. Trust me, you're gonna miss it. So I'm really loving what we're seeing here with this trade. If you took this trade, awesome. Hopefully you're making a ton of money. I've been taking bits and pieces on the CME as we're seeing it come down. So it's going to be really fun to be playing off of this as we continue to see it come down here. We are seeing a slowdown from this period here. So expect, again, like I talked about, this level here being an area of support, and it's going to act as an area of stops. So see us to see a bit of a bounce off of this level, and then probably come back, pull back to the 8, and then come back down and further, and see, something that kind of looks like this. Like boom, 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 pop again, come back
Pop
down.
Goes the weasel.
Boom, 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 boom. Boom. Right.
And down in this area, that's when the Saudis call and say, hey, you're putting the pressure on us.
That's exactly what's going to happen. Right. And then America will be like,
we told you so, bitches.
Yeah, we told you we were going to flood the market. So
it's in 76 North. It's like, no, not that low. Yes, my car gets really bad gas mileage. Yes.
Well, here's the thing. And with that, let me ask you a quick question, 76 Norton. Why don't you want it to go that low? Are you in the oil industry? I'd love to know your thoughts on that. Please let us know.
Yes, do let us know. Pedro, flip back over to Bitcoin for a second here. I think you'll find something interesting going on.
Yes, sir. Talk to me, Gus.
Bottom's falling out of it again. It's wanting to head down towards your next level.
Area here, where remember the markets go to liquidity. Algorithms run to liquidity. That is their job, is to go find and search out where there are buyers and when there are sellers, and they want to meet those positions. It is something in which the market is always doing and always in flux of looking for liquidity up here, liquidity down here, so that they can put orders in. And that's really important to understand. So be looking. We'll come back here and check this out in a few minutes as we come and see this trade. Now let's check out the finish off some other areas here. So let's check about. Let's. I just thought about Crocodile Dundee when they go about.
That's not a knife. This is a knife.
It's not a knife. This is a knife. Yeah, man. He was an idol for me, dude. I legitly, I saw him as like the ultimate man, bro. Like as a kid. I was like, that ain't a knife. This is a knife. Like when I would go, like my foster fathers and stuff, I'll be like, is he like Crocodile Dundee? Nope, he's less of a man. Like it was like everything, Paul, you know, and then as you get older, you're like, oh, he's not that. He's not, you know, he's not the Crocodile Dundee.
How the hell do you spell crocodile? Why can't I spell this right? Crocodile.
C-R-O. I'm not the speller guy.
Right.
Forget that. All right, let's check this out here. Look at gold. Gold is screaming up. If we look at the monthly chart here, we're watched a gap up, come down, and go continue up. So we're definitely seeing a lot of pressure as we're starting to push up here. Why do I have this here? Did I put this accident? Oh yeah. Boom. Let me move that. All right. So I think what's interesting here, and as we're looking at, is that gold is really on a tear. One being, the world really doesn't know what's going on, especially with what's happening in the Ukraine. Listen, China's falling apart. People don't realize it because it's not talked about much, but China is completely falling apart. And in additionally to that, we're also watching Germany starting to find some semblance, but again, it's still not coming together. Europe is falling apart. And there's so many things happening, even over on our side with Canada, and a lot of indecision that's happening. Everybody's kind of running to gold to find some semblance of security. I think a lot of money from Bitcoin is actually going into gold as well, just as a sense of, look, we thought Bitcoin was going to have a store of value. Obviously, it's not. The government in America is going a little slower than what I think the crypto market expected. And so it kind of has put a little pressure, down pressure on or money outflow of Bitcoin and going into gold for a period in time. So it's been real interesting as things start to calm down over the next 6 months to a year.
Oh, what? Hey, Pedro.
Hold
on 1 second.
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
That ain't a knife.
That's what I'm here for, ladies and gentlemen, your entertainment purposes.
You're not entertained. So I expect to see now, again, I'm looking at the monthly chart. So if we close around these levels here, where we're at over here in the next couple days, I expect us to see us first go down with gold to see it go up. And you can take part in that on that weekly chart here, which would be primarily around here. So I would see us be able to come down, tap this area right here, and be able to take part in that trade. Boom, 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 boom.
Sorry, I'm trying to find another sound effect for Bitcoin dumping.
That's funny.
That wasn't. It's really funny.
That ain't funny. This is funny. You know, it's okay. So let's check out copper. Copper was really interesting to watch yesterday, primarily because it exploded. Absolutely exploded up.
Home builders are going to love that.
Well, it exploded up because of the potential movement. Dude, you need to do some research big time. Gold is going to explode. Yes, I don't disagree. But Bitcoin, I'm talking about 76 Norton. Before it goes up, it has to come down. And so that's why, remember, I'm a day trader. I want you to understand, like legit. Like I'm not like playing around and saying, oh, it's going, no, I do research. But like I said earlier on, if you were watching, I said, I do not create a fundamental analysis first, where then I will then overlay that on the chart. I first look at the chart because the chart is where the real money is at. Like there are hundreds of millions of dollars that push the market up, then they sold off, right? Like that's what happened, right? I don't care what you say to me. I care where you put your money at. That to me is more important, right? Like you can be You can slap me in the face, but if you're going to put money in my bank account and you're going to keep me working, kind of like the East Coast versus the West Coast. I love using this analogy. On the West Coast.
Oops, you're down too low. Oh, I think you went to mute, Pedro.
People on the West Coast are going to sit there and look at him and go, good job. Look at this man expression of his passion. And then somebody's going to sit there and say, hey, you know what? We should help this guy. And the guy's like, no. Put me out, you know, and the guy's like, oh, look at him. He's expressing the emotional heartache of the people. Thank you. Yeah, somebody throw more gasoline on him. Okay? Like, boom. Versus East Coast, over here, you throw yourself on fire, you know what's going to happen? Someone's going to throw you down on the ground, freaking throw a huge rug on you, probably do a couple of drop kicks on you while they're doing that, then slap you around, pick you up, say, what the fuck, or what are you doing over there? Here, put them on a couch. Hey, listen to me. We'll house you, we'll take care of you, and then they'll make fun of you a little, probably slap you around, a little abuse. But then on the back end, you know what's going to happen?
I don't know where Pedro's going with this one, guys.
But listen. But you know what's going to happen, though, here on the East Coast is they're going to go through, and then they're going to say, hey, Bobby over there got a business. He owns a fruit stand. Go over there, show up every day, and just start to work so you can bring some income coming in. And listen, if you try to throw your fire or you try to burn yourself up again, we're going to drop kick you. Don't play around, right? Like, that's the difference between East Coast, West Coast. It's the duplicity of the movement. I do not care what's actually happening in the government system per se. I am looking at the actual where the money is being established. And if I see seller wicks coming in, which is what we're seeing right now, I expect gold to come down first before it goes up. And we're talking billions of dollars are being established right now, where they're going to drop it first they're taking profit right now into the market. Okay. We saw it go up this past month. Went up here, and then now we're seeing them take profit. They're going to take profit, come back down here, pick up more orders down at that 28 area and see it go back up. So I don't disagree with you, but how's it going to happen? That's actually more important as a trader, right? Everybody can have a freaking Monday quarterback moments, right?
Sunday, Monday, happy days.
But what's more important is to be able to sit there and say, you know what, execution is more important than understanding a full system. My execution is on point. And so, I'm not trying to sound arrogant here. I'm saying this because I want you to understand this is how traders work. And traders are the one who run the world. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, he was just telling you that it's going to do what you're saying it's going to do. It's going to go up.
Oh, dude, you need to do some research big time.
Gold is going to explode. Let's just remember, Norton, let's remember the market cap of gold. Pedro, what's the market cap of gold right now?
It's
15 trillion,
whatever.
Something like that,
Yeah,
16, 17 trillion. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. And to get gold to explode, gold is, if Pedro, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's it's fairly one-to-one. You need a lot of money to move it up that high. I mean, you need nation states to say we need to redo our currencies, and that's not happening with gold so much because it's difficult. Gold is a difficult thing to deal with. A lot of gold, as we all know, is wound up in the bottom of the ocean, Spanish galleons and stuff like that. And to get it to really, you want gold to double, you need many trillions of dollars in cash to go into it, and that cash has got to.
It's 19.5. It's about 19 trillion to 20 trillion dollars.
20 trillion. Right, that's a lot. So if you want to double, I realize the futures markets have a big influence on gold, but you still need a lot of money to come into that, and that money's got to come from somewhere. And everyone's like, BlackRock's got tons of money, and JP Morgan's got tons of money, and all that kind of stuff. And BlackRock could come out and say, we're going to put $1 trillion into gold, and the price will barely move. Well, if they buy the gold, it won't move, but if they buy the futures, it'll move, obviously. But
yeah. Well, I think it's interesting that we're talking about gold, and there's a whole entire discussion of going and checking out Fort Knox. I mean,
That's such a bullshit story. I mean, my God. I mean, it doesn't matter. If there's zero gold in there, it doesn't matter. I mean, people are like, well, it's going to cause our currency to crash. I'm like, guys, we haven't been on the gold standard. You used to be able to take a dollar bill and go to the bank, and they'd give you $1 worth of gold. Well, not exactly. I mean, back in the day you could, but I used to have piles of silver certificates that my grandfather had gave me. It was $100 silver certificates. I can't believe I got rid of them. But in the old days, you could take $100 and get $100 for the silver. There you go. Here's your silver, your son. That's not the case anymore because it doesn't work. Gold standard doesn't work in any market anymore. And I have a great video about it. If you search the DYOR Media YouTube channel about BRICS and the gold standard. There's just not enough earth and gold to satisfy the needs of everybody. And everyone said, and I'll summarize this real quickly. Everyone says, well, it doesn't matter. You don't need more gold. If there's more value per ounce, then you can use the same amount of gold, right? Wrong. Wrong, because once the price of gold goes up more than what you pay an Indian peasant to get it out of the earth, and they can get rich just by getting gold instead of just the little few dollars they get for specks of gold, then the whole earth is going to get decimated. It'd be the worst ecological disaster ever. Imagine everyone strip mining the whole earth for gold. Disaster. It's coming back, but let's not say people are out there on YouTube going it's going to 20,000. No, it's not going to 20,000.
I mean, you could see it double. I mean, potentially over the next I think we're going to see it get to 3,300 this year, especially with what I expect is probably coming, right? Like that's, and what I'm seeing. So like 3,300, I think personally, and I've gone on like other YouTube shows and talked about like this most likely where we're going to see the market go for gold wise.
Carmen, we'll get to you in a minute. And also, Norm, one of the things people forget also for the topic is, oh my God, currencies are going to crash, all this type of stuff. There's going to be a flight to safety, and gold's going to go up, and people are going to have to resort to the gold if the U.S. dollar crashes or whatever. You cannot buy gold with your dick, okay? You have to buy gold with something that someone will trade it for. You can buy gold with dollars. You can't buy gold with rubles, with Russian rubles. You can't buy gold with the Zimbabwe currency or whatever it is. You have to buy gold, and for it to retain its value, with something that somebody will trade the gold for. So if the dollar crashes and other fiat currencies crash, nobody will have anything to buy gold with, except other precious metals. The people will trade silver for gold all day. But there's not enough silver out there in the market to do that and distributed enough for people to do that. So we're in a catch-22, and you got to, like I always tell people, zoom out. Zoom out. If you want gold to double and triple and all that, you almost have to play it as part of the U.S. currency, because without the U.S. currency, the dominant currency in the world, you can't buy gold, because the whole gold market is based on dollars, and its value is based on dollars. And if you don't have dollars to buy it, you got to buy it with something else, and so you got to prop that market up too somehow. So think of that too. Just word from the wise. Let's see. Accepted for luxury goods worldwide. Yes, that's true. You most definitely can go in and trade your gold for others. But again, Carmen, they don't just trade it by weight for those luxury goods. They filter it through a U.S. dollar price, and then they let you buy your luxury good. So once again, you're screwed. Anyway, there's lots of people calling out for us to review the Pi network.
Vagina.
Pi.
So check out Pi.
But I don't know how to find Pi. I don't know where we would find Pi network. I went to CoinGecko and I wanted to bring it up on the great graphics machine, but
there you go, Pi network, Tyler. USD.
Oh, just Pi network. Okay.
OKX. No, I need to go to Tether. That's the most.
Pi network only up 50% today. Sucks. What a terrible terrible investment that I missed out. Actually, I didn't miss out. I just thought that the airdrop would kill it, which I was correct, but it immediately mooned after that. Damn it!
Right here.
Yeah.
When was the airdrop?
Yeah, you're right on day one.
Okay, here we go. Boom. All right. So let's check it out here real quick. Yeah, man, it had a huge explosion. What was the starting point? 61 cents to 290. So I like this area right here.
Oh, okay. I know what area you're going to draw.
This area right here. And then I also like potentially, I mean, if this thing, because they're talking about it as I mean, it's so hyped, man. And now that you can short a lot of these on Mexi, like people are going to be shorting the junk out of this. I know I'd be jonesing to short the crap out of it.
Ooh, let me check
the explosion.
See if they already got Pi Network up there. Oh, they most certainly do.
It's going to be shorted, bro. All right, so you got a couple areas here that potentially could be playing. So you've got the midpoint here, which is going to be that 129 area to that 120 area. So I like this area right here. It's a good pullback area. And additionally to that, they're definitely.
Oh my God. Holy shit. Look at this chart. Is definitely, it's going to be volatile. I'm looking at the Mexi chart behind you, Pedro, or behind me.
Oh, really? Shit.
But here, this is the 1 minute chart here. Let's see if I can get myself over here. Oh, Tom. One of these days I'll get this so it's exactly right. Here's the 1 minute chart here on Pi. It's coming up all the way down from $2, goes up to $3 right here. And then within 90 seconds, drops back down to about 230 or so. I can't see what that is.
I'm sorry, dude.
I mean, there's some inside bags there somehow.
Well, you talk. It's fun. I've had so many people in so many Telegram networks, right? Like pushing. You need to get into Pi. You need to get into Pi, right? You got 24 hours. You got 15 hours. You need to get into Pi. And I said, with all of these people pushing this in this network, dog, this is screaming to me, literally screaming to me, manipulation. So I said, no, we'll see what's up. So I'm actually glad you guys brought up Pi because I was wondering about it. Yo, do they have a perpetual?
Yeah, they only have future. On Mexi they call futures, but it's really perpetuals.
Okay, perfect. I'm sorry because I trade the future.
Yeah, just to make sure you don't have the version that's called IOU up. I can't see your screen there. Yeah, it's just a regular Pi. Carmen, I don't know the difference. She was just telling us that.
Yeah, I like it down at that 129, and then potentially you could get it back at 70 cents. I see it definitely coming back down that 129, 120 area, and then seeing it basically depends. If it can hold that area, then we want to sit there and see demand right being established. But as it was going up, you can see right here that you definitely have people that were selling off. Boom, you're seeing people sell off here. You literally, what is it? So it's 61 cents. You have, what is that? 2.4. So 240. So 120, 240. Yeah, so you had 4x, about 4.5, maybe 5x here.
Carmen says she mined it for 4 years, so she says I have no skin in the game as far as this, but I have a security circle that's all KYC'd, so I have 100% of my tokens. I don't have any idea what that means, your security circle, because I did not follow the Pi network.
I know somebody, it was Crypto Dab. It was actually Crypto Dab, and Crypto Dab said every day. I remember she posted it because I just started to get into crypto, and I wanted to learn about it. And so she was one of the people who were, who was popped up on my thing. And so I got into the, wolf pack at that time where I bought, what was it called?
Oh, that's right. Now I remember. I saw this on Crypto Banter. Rand was doing this too. You had referral codes and you pressed up one button a day on her phone. Right.
Yeah. And
I was like, what a dumbass mother beep and beep kind of stupid thing is that? Now everyone's like, oh, we're going to the bank.
Yeah, for free. Like you basically they gamified it and people went through. And I know people who literally, was it one coin? I picked, I know because I never did. I never fully got it KYC'd. I thought that KYC, I said, no, I'm good.
Nope, right out of it.
Yeah. And I think I had ultimately maybe a couple thousand coins, because I did it for a while. And then.
So you would have had, 10 grand right now.
Well, no, the conversion would have been different though.
Oh.
Because remember, I don't think they got a 1-to-1 ratio, right? Is that correct, Carmen? Like one coin was
if you say you mined 100, just randomly mined 100 coins, how many coins do you have on this chart right here?
Yeah. I don't think it was a 1-to-1. I think it was like a 4-to-1 or a 6-to-1.
Yes, I brought up the larger chart here. I got the
1-for-1. Oh wow!
Pedro, go search some old wallets for that shit.
Oh no! If you didn't do the KYC, then I don't. Right? If you didn't do the KYC, you didn't get that, right?
You had to get everyone in your circle verified, I see. Oh, well, now they're legit. But anyway, ladies and gents, why did that disappear? Why did Social Stream disappear?
It was no tokens. Yeah. So I know she had thousands and thousands, for her pie.
Right here is the launch day for this, and in fact, Carmen brought it to my attention. They just cheated the F out of it. Boop! Got all your free stuff down here. And in fact, I think we were talking about it because people were buying 1% of the supply for cheap, or whatever. And they were talking about in various Telegram groups, let's just buy some. What could happen? Oh well, it mooned. But as you can see, because of the 1 minute chart here, we'll just go to the 5 minute chart here and bang it out. This is just today right here. Of course, it's behind. I'm doing the Pedro. I put it behind the. This is just today, right?
Now
here.
It's hard to...
From here all the way up to here, and then back down to here. So there's a lot of people with a lot of tokens that are taking their monies. And if they can move the market, I don't know if you can see it's not calculating the market cap correctly. My graphics machine, but there has been $2.3 billion traded today. So that means there's a huge amount of volume and market cap going on here. So for this to go down by 33% in 90 minutes is indicative of there being some fat insider wallets. So expect more volatility in Pi. And I'm going to watch that on the Mexi perpetuals for a big fat short. What's next time it goes up a lot?
Well, I think, you could play that short right now. Give me 1 second. It is...
Carmen says, we were given boosted mining for locking them, so a lot is locked, I think. Also something you could track, but clearly not all, if 33% could disappear in 90 minutes.
Well, I'll put it like this. You literally had, at this level right here, this 30-minute, you had $576,000 tokens being sold on... This right here, those are all sellers. If you look at the 5 minute, you literally have, on this 5 minute, you have 174,000 sells. Here you had 186,000. There's quite a bit of sellers coming in. You can see that it is calming down, but even with the buys coming in, which could be the foundation here with Pi, they could be buying back at these lower levels, which would be that 100-day period or the 100 period moving average, which would be smart for them to buy at that level. And then the next level would be that the $2 area with the 200 period moving average. And then the next one, if they're looking to be buying back at levels, right, for the foundation, I'd really look for the halfway mark here, that 125-ish area here.
Shout out to everyone on Rumble. Got a couple of viewers over there. Thanks for joining us. Remember, on Rumble, you don't need to be a paying member of Rumble. All you need to do is have an account in order to hit that like button, and you can get an account for free. So if you are one of those people that watches Rumble on your smart TV and it's not easy to log in and all that type of stuff, pick up your phone. Pick up your phone. I know you're sitting there in that lazy boy looking at your phone right now. That's what I know. I know it's happening. Log into Rumble. Find DYOR Media and click the like button. It helps us out so much. And if you're so kind, over on YouTube, we're running a $2 super chat goal. $2 mere dollars.
Yeah,
and
$2.
Over on Rumble, it's called a rant. And if you would like to kick in $2, a $2 rant will make it count towards the YouTube goal. And we asked for low dollar. We'd like a couple of $1 million. That'd be nice, but just $2 tells the algorithm that something good is going on this show, and you appreciate watching it, getting the info that we give you.
So let's also check out XRP. I'm going to talk about ETH, but first XRP here, and I think it's real important. Looking at these levels here on XRP, we definitely found like some support as we came up, but because we put in that lower high here, right, we're going to most likely put a lower low in. So we've got a couple areas that we could see a bounce back. Obviously, it's going to be this one, but I think the real one is going to be sitting more at that 200-day period moving average, which is where the pink line is sitting. So because of that, I'm definitely more advent to want to be buying XRP down at that 150 to about 128 area for XRP. Literally because as we saw the huge, we saw a decent amount of buys coming in yesterday, but for XRP, it really didn't make a move because all I did was just add to the liquidity for the short side. So whenever you see a bunch of buys coming in a market when it's dropping, a lot of times what's happening is they're going through and they are basically absorbing those buys with the short side. And so it basically meets those areas where then you see the turn on in the market. So XRP, I'm expecting to see a couple areas here, just short-term value bumps. You can see right here where at the low end of this right here, we talk about, this is kind of like what's going on with Bitcoin right now. You can have areas where there are stops that are sitting. And so with that, you then can have a quick little trade that you go in and make money and try to take advantage of it. And so like I always say, this would be an area for you to be potentially taking advantage of a good little short-term bounce. We'll go into Ethereum in just a second. You can see here real quick. Let's check this out. See how our trade would have happened. Didn't get above the 8 period moving average. So we would still be looking to short. But the key is if it is kind of setting
Hold on,
up,
what'd you switch to there, Pedro?
This is Bitcoin. This is the trade that I talked about hitting our area. Right, that blue line mark.
Yeah.
So this is the area where there should be a lot of buyers and sellers sitting, or a lot of shorts. Excuse me, a lot of sell orders sitting, which would then cause the market to kind of rebound and push up. So I talked about us trying to take advantage of that as you see it come down to see buyers stepping in. And you can see as it came down into this area, it really was absorbing a lot of
I'm not sure we
here.
can see where your mouse is there.
Is that better?
I had no idea where your mouse is.
Give me 1 second. Okay, cool. So as I'm looking at this area right here, I'm watching this. We need to get above that 8 period moving average. So if we start to see a decent amount of volume come in, while we get above that 8 period. We're looking for, like I said, a short-term quick little run up while we play this. Then we can see it turn around. I'm potentially gauging that the 50 period moving average around that 86,926 area would be really where we want to put our short at once it pulls back. So if you're looking to get in, that'd be an area to get in on the short-term 5-minute chart area. And again, that's going to be where the hour 8 period moving average is sitting. I thought we see a little bit of a pullback here, but these are just small little areas that you can play off while you're chipping away before you see the continuation of the down market. Okay, so let's go ahead here real quick and check out Ethereum. Ethereum is looking really nice. We talked about this area here now for almost ad nauseum, right? Of us coming down and tapping that 2100 area, right? We talked about this getting below that purple line. I probably need to make that blue now. I've kind of designated that to be blue. So this area here is where a lot of those stops were sitting. The fact that we've already tapped this area now, once, I think we're easily now should cut through this area. We did not put in a higher high. This was the highest low we got, right? Or excuse me, the highest high we got from here to here. And then once we broke that, what does Crypto Lifer call it? A channel? Yeah, I think channels are legit. Like everything else, I think it might be bogus. Channels, I'll trade. So you can sit there and see that we definitely played this right here. Once we broke through, we saw it come down. I'm expecting us to see us come down and tap that 40 or that 1462 area. This is my real target. And then the other part is that 1743. I think at these levels, Ethereum are looking very sexy, very sexy. So I like these areas to be looking for and then potentially see it rally up. If we could see it come down to that 1,000, bro, that would be like, yeah.
Well, I got to tell you, the past 2 weeks, 3 weeks, all the talk was that if you looked at like the Ethereum weekly chart or monthly chart or something like that, that it was at any moment it was going to cook off 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, and I mean every channel was talking about it. Not us, by the way. We weren't really talking Ethereum that much, and like everything else in this shitty market right now, it's just following Bitcoin down. XRP's following Bitcoin down. Stellar's following. Anything that I have my money in is following Bitcoin down. Like what? Like
that's why you call it shit.
Even Solana down to 130 bucks now.
Oh, we're about to check out Solana next. Yes, it did hit the 130. I didn't look at it today. Oh yeah, it did. Ooh wee! Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. So, all right, let's check out what's actually going. So, are we seeing a ton of? Oh yeah, a lot of sellers. Boom! Look at that. Look at that. Look at that, dude. As soon as it hit that area, dude, everything was selling off. They were trying to dump it. There's a lot of buyers sitting here. A lot of buyers at that 130. You see they're being absorbed. That's what's going on. Look at that body. We'll definitely. Are we going to be on tomorrow?
Yeah, we'll be on tomorrow.
So all right. So look, if we get above that 8 period moving average with the cross of the 8 and 20, similar to looking like this right here. So it's coming down. We see something similar to this. Expect us to go up. I mean, it's a good play to play on Solana here. If you can capture probably about 8 points, 8 to 10 points here up to this level here. So expect us to see some type of support coming in because you can already see it that they were trying to drop it and couldn't. And so with all that volume coming in, I'd expect to see some bounce so that they can push it down even further, but they've got to push it up first. So again, you want to see it get above the 8 and 20 with a crossover, something similar to this right here. Whereas it's going down, you see it pop up, you see the 8 and 20, and you can see it push back up. So that's a good little area to be playing off of that to go long and then continue your short down as we either hit the 50 period or where a lot of these seller wicks are sitting, which is the 2-hour area. roughly around that 137, 138 area. So nice little area there. Jumping back to Ethereum here. Ethereum is looking pretty hot to try here. I gotta admit, I'm looking forward to this because I've been waiting for these prices here with Ethereum. I haven't picked anything up there, literally because I'm expecting this to come down for a while now. So I'm a little excited, to tell you the truth. Like a fat kid in the candy store. Yeah, baby. Give me them cakes. Arr! Come on down here. Such a dork, dude. Okay, boom. Fat guy in a little coat. Fat guy in a little coat. All right, dude. So I'm so sorry.
I don't know what my
right,
friend Pedro is doing there.
Dude,
He's watching the markets
funny,
tank, ladies and gentlemen, and if you know us well, we don't care if the markets tank, just as long as they're moving. Going down to its levels, going down to 1,000 for Ethereum. Calling it right now, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my God, there'd be people jumping off my building here if Ethereum went to 1,000.
That allows you to pick up more, dude. I'm hoping we see. We need to bring on Mr. Alexander here and decide what we're gonna do with some of the winnings and something we want to do with it. So
yeah, let's bring that up quickly, ladies and gentlemen. Pedro and I are working on it right now, but we're going to be redoing the show here, changing it into a couple of different shows. As you know, both Pedro and I like to talk, and our guests that we have on like to talk. And I always thought that a talk show would work well in crypto. It turns out it doesn't work that well. And people just want to separate themselves into their podcasts and degenning. And so we are going to serve you up. That's right. We have created a new app called TradeWave app, in which the app will be at first for a select few, it'll be a beta test of Pedro's trades that we put in there, and frankly, as we go here, some of mine too. We'll call them the ideas, where we think the market is going to go and looking to do. Like Pedro was saying, we wanted to pick up some Bitcoin at 85,000. He would have that in there. Here's the level to buy it in, that type of stuff. And then we're going to have like a half-hour show that just hits those trades and the reasons why, and any teaching that may go along with it. And we're going to try and get all of you to to subscribe to it. Don't worry, it'll be cheap. But as we start making money on it and people start joining us and FOMOing into the trade wave, it will become not so cheap. It's our goal. Anyway, just on a programming note, you'll start seeing references to that. You'll start seeing me with some new logos and this type of stuff. Pedro and I aren't certain when we're going to actually get it rolling, but that's the talk about it. So I might reach out to a couple of you to try out the app once I get it out of alpha and into beta. So pay attention to that, ladies and gentlemen. Crickets. Bitcoin at 83,000 now. Jeez. Oh, you're on mute.
I'm really excited about Crow going down even further, man. I personally think I feel like what they have going on, and here's the reason why I like Crow so much, is not only because they have a decentralized, centralized system, but ultimately it's such a brand recognition name. And the fact that Chris, the CEO, what's his last name?
You got me.
He's got connections with Trump, which I think is a very bullish thing. And I feel like
Chris is the CEO of Rumble that has connections with Trump, if that's what you're talking about.
No, who's the CEO of Crypto.com? Or Kronos?
Sorry, I just fucked up my whole thing.
Or Chaos. The Chaos monster over here. But the fact is that this right here is one of those things that we're seeing it come down into. So I'm really happy that we kind of pushed through that 10-cent mark.
Oh, yeah, Chris Marszalek.
Yeah, that's Marszalek?
Marszalek. I don't know. It's a name that's not native to my tongue.
Yes, but the fact is that he's coming back into the States, and I think because of the ease of use, and that you can really kind of use it to basically gamify. Like every day I go and I press, just like how I would do with. It's one of the things that I do. Right, wake up in the morning, do certain things, and one of my rituals is to go in, hit the little thing that you can game. Basically, what Pi had you do, I'm doing with a lot of their coins that they have, and you can sit there and just press these things and pick up coins, and that's it, and you make okay. I'm not saying you make a ton of money, but I definitely making more money than I would have if that money was sitting in the bank, right? We're talking by easy a couple of percentage points. So in the same sense, I like the fact that my money can make money for me. That's why I like Crow, because they make it simple and also make it pretty easy for you to actually transfer your money from a Crow account, from a CFI account to a DeFi account through their.
Well, all the simple on every exchange.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've tried to reopen my my what's it called, Coinbase account. I still can't, bro. I'm almost 3 months into it now.
Start a new one.
No, because I've got a decent amount of money in it.
Got some cash monies in there. Now just go knock on their door. Knock, knock, knock.
Where are they at?
Who is it? Pedro Garcia. Nobody home.
Right. And so I've actually had a few people.
Land shark.
I actually went on the Facebook page and said, hey, look, I'm having issues here. And all of a sudden I started getting all these phone calls with Coinbase helpers. And the first one almost got me, bro. I almost got screwed over. And he's like, yeah, do you have it? So he asked me for like certain information and my email. And I said, yeah, that's my email. And then I sat there and then I said, wait. In the back of my head, I was like, wait. They're calling me at what time? And it sounded like a normal person, right? And then I sat there and I said, where are you located? And they're like, oh, I'm in California. And I said, well, it's 11 o'clock here. It would be 8 o'clock there. Why are you working at 8 o'clock? Right? And I'm so glad I did. So I said, you know what? We all understand crypto. We know how crazy it is. Let me actually reach out to, because not that I don't trust you, but I just want to make sure. He goes, oh, no worries. It's okay. He goes, but why you do that? Let me ask you a couple quick questions so I can help you out even more. And that's when I was like, oh, that's a sales tactic. That's smart. He almost had me. I was like, okay. And then I was like, wait. Ooh, very clever of you. And then I just hung up. And then he called me back and I said, hey man, like I don't trust you and you're not gonna do anything of me. And now like anybody that calls me, I'm not gonna open up to. So I'm gonna reach out.
You know what, that happened, not that, but a similar sales tactic. I was in getting a new El Telefono the other day, first time in 6 years. Mm-hmm. And I'm just looking at my old phone while the lady's drawing up the thing and blah 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 blah. And she's just like, oh, what do you do? Blah, blah, blah. And I say, oh, I got this crypto channel. Yeah. Oh, crypto, cool. And I thought she was going to ask me about crypto. And she goes, oh, that's good. What's used a lot of data, having to trade and all that kind of stuff. And need a fast connection. I was like, yeah, I got a pretty fast connection there. And like, well, we got it. And I was like, I said, nice try with the upsell there. She's to try and sell me the T-Mobile, home 5G internet type thing. I was like, nice try. And she just smiled. She's like, well, I gotta try.
I gotta try. Like, listen, I'll never sit there and berate somebody for trying. Like, look, I might learn something from you trying. I'm like, ooh, that was really clever wordage. I like that, But like, ultimately, it's one of those things that you're just like, you almost got me, and it's a fun game. I love it. I loved sales. I'm actually thought about like going out this week because it's starting to warm up now and do a little door to door with my friend's business. So it's gonna be fun. I love it. I love doing door to door, man. It's hard, but it's fun. All right, one last thing. I hear it playing in my ear. I want to go over this here real quick. It does a quick little thing. Where is it at? ICP. There we go. ICP. All right. So we're watching ICP come down to the levels that I really been waiting for it to come down. We're starting to see a bit of a sell-off again on ICP at the level of $6 and potentially coming down to this $5 area. So I like this area, that $4, $5 area. I think we're going to see it come down into this area this weekend. While it's coming down here, again, we have a trade play that you can sit there and see. And that's this level right here. If it goes below this level, we want to see it, again, do something. I'm just pointing out that kind of basically looks like this. It's a type of pattern that you can sit there and see. But something like this. We see it come up above that 8. Right, and we see it put in a nice little like command wick, and we see it continue up. So it's one of those things we can sit there and play. It should look similar to something like this. Right, come up above the 8, back down. You put the local area here and watch it go up. You're looking for a 2-to-1 to a 1-to-1 ratio, and then let it see if it continues. Great. If not, cool. You made a quick little profit, and then that's it in a nutshell. But that's the key to be able to play these small little plays here. And then if you want to go short on this, on Mexi, then I keep saying Mexi, but does our group, does BitFi have short? Did we find that out?
They have tons of perpetuals. They're just not as fast as adding new things as Mexi is. Mexi is like the world champion of adding projects because they have more degens there, so they get them on as fast as they can.
I bet. So ICP, I like this area. If ICP is on BitFi, you should be able to take it short again as we come down to these lower levels here.
Yeah, I haven't. I haven't been talking much about BitFi lately, Pedro. Just as we move into the next phase, I just want to keep our options open for working with anyone here.
Okay.
But anyway, ladies and gentlemen. Music didn't kick back on. I thought it would loop through. Anyway, that's the end of the show for today. Thanks for everyone on Rumble and YouTube. Not that low of a count, but not that great of a count. But Rumble, you held us up. YouTube and viewers on X, thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. As always, Pedro and I are very grateful for the time you spend with us. Look forward to some changes coming up in the show. We will be on the air tomorrow, Thursday afternoon. And also, I think we'll do a regular show on Friday and maybe do it because we haven't been doing a lot of shows lately because I've been moving around a lot. And Pedro and I got a lot to talk about to get into this new trading aspect of the show and hopefully to get all of you to degen along with us and make a fat stack of cash. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you tomorrow. So be there.
Yeah, have a blessed day, guys.